about estradiol and the lubrication. So you're talking about the joints, the vaginal tissues, dry eye. Dry eye is a big symptom of your estrogen being a little bit too low. How to tell if your estradiol dose is too low. Hi, I'm Dr. Valorie Davidson from the Progress Your Health podcast.
And I'm Dr. Maki from the Progress Your Health podcast. So let's dive right in. So what are examples or symptoms that women would experience if their estradiol level's too low?
Well, obviously, hot flashes and night sweats is a trigger. So we're going to talk about symptoms and probably dive into a little bit of blood work in a bit. But there's so much more to it than just hot flashes and night sweats when your estradiol dose is too low.
Certainly, things have changed over the last number of years, right? Because it used to be those women that were having the hot flashes and night sweats, those would be the ones that were easy to spot and they are desperate for some relief. But now, because there's so much more information about just menopause in general, now the reasons why women, come in is quite a bit different.
For example, we've always talked about joint pain or having joint issues. In fact, I had a patient not that long ago. I raised up her estradiol level because she was getting headaches. That's another symptom of having low estradiol, is getting headaches, or if you're prone to migraines, getting more migraines. But I went ahead and raised up her estradiol, and she said, I didn't mention it to you, but my knees got better. The joints of my knees, which had been bothering her, got better. So it's not just hot flashes and night sweats, which is important. It is important to address that, but we're looking at other aspects of the body. Like I said, the joint issue, headaches, migraines. What other symptoms would you say would point towards low estradiol doses?
Certainly insomnia, or not being able to fall asleep. Now, the staying asleep one can be a little bit complicated. Perimenopausal women and menopausal women have that problem. But a classic menopausal symptom is like you're just staring at the ceiling and you can't turn the brain power off.
Or even just having anxiety at night. Like I just had a patient the other week, and she was having a tremendous amount of anxiety at night, and she would fall asleep, then wake up a couple hours later with anxiety, not really hot though. And I wanted to make sure that she wasn't hyperthyroid, that her thyroid dose wasn't too high. So I had her do some blood work, and sure enough, her estradiol level had went from 89 to 44. And then once we raised up that estrogen at night, raised up the estradiol at night, and I did a little bit in the morning too, because we wanted to level it out. She's been sleeping great. She actually has been sleeping like a baby. That's what she said. So that definitely is an issue, is with the sleep. Any other symptoms you can think of with your estradiol dose is too low?
Well, like you said, you mentioned joint pain, right? So you think of estrogen as being kind of like the lubricant for the joints. Osteoarthritis, which is joint pain or just arthritis in general, that's going to tend to go up during menopause. So if you're still having some joint issues, knees, hips, shoulders, there's a lot of talk these days about frozen shoulder and menopause. So those are all different things to think about. Like you said, it's more than just hot flashes and night sweat.
And of course, we can't forget brain function.
Yeah.
The brain fog, the words not coming out well, not being able to retrieve the word from your brain. Like, I know that person's name. I've known them for 20 years. I can't get it out. Or what's the name of the university I used to go to? Like, you just can't get the words out. So that's a big one when it comes to having your estradiol dose a little bit too low. Also, just kind of the brain power in general. Yeah. Women will find when their estradiol dose is too low that they get tired quicker, or cognitively. We always talk about like the mental energy. What's your mental energy like? They feel like the bandwidth starts to get shorter, or they're getting distracted, or their working memory, which is trying to remember 5 things at once. Like you go into the grocery store, you want to remember the items on your list. Is if you can't remember it, that's your working memory goes down. So that's a big sign when your estradiol dose is too low.
Yeah, I mean, those are all sort of, at least in our world, sort of classic menopausal symptoms. And I think a lot of people are aware of those. Certainly, it does go beyond just hot flashes and night sweats.
And of course, I think we're forgetting and not touching on the biggest one when your estradiol dose is low. Also, on another podcast we did with your estradiol dose is too high, this is the same thing, weight gain.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just a classic for menopause anyways. Not so much if the dose is too much, because as we've talked about before, most of the time, the dose usually needs to increase most of the time.
Yeah, because we get a lot of questions from people all over the world, and they'll be putting their doses down, and we'll say, they seem like the doses are low. I mean, us women, we need the estradiol. Sure, if it's too high, there's some issues. That's why you want to monitor it, and work with your practitioner. But a lot of times we'll see these doses are way too low, whether they're doing an estradiol patch or they're doing a biased or just an estradiol transdermal cream or gel. I'll notice that the doses are low. And when they're low, because estrogen helps sort of balance cortisol, it buffers cortisol. We need cortisol, but too much of cortisol can be a runaway train. And that cortisol will cause the weight gain. So when that estradiol drops, it's really easy to pack on a few pounds, even if you're doing everything right.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things we've seen over the years where, that and the hot flashes and night sweats used to be, and sort of still is, at least the weight gain anyways, are the main reasons that motivate someone to change it, because lifestyle doesn't change, diet doesn't change. All of a sudden now they put on, 10 to 20 pounds in a relatively short amount of time.
And then, of course, libido is a big one. I know testosterone's important for libido, especially for men and for women also, but really the estradiol is probably the big game player when it comes to female libido.
Yeah, testosterone is what sort of drives men, and estradiol is what sort of drives women in that respect. So you can't ignore the estradiol if there's any libido issues.
And when that estradiol is low, it's like the sex isn't on the brain. That's what women will say is, I'm not even initiating. It's not my partner. It's just not on my brain. And then that, of course, like I was mentioning about cortisol. So when that estrogen's low, that cortisol can kind of go, is not being buffered. And cortisol, high cortisol, is terrible for a libido. Like that'll just turn the sex drive right off. So you're thinking about, libido on the brain, but also down south, if that estradiol level is too low, you can have the vaginal atrophy, or what do they call it now, GSM?
Yeah, GSM. That's honestly, there's lots of things that could be a whole separate episode talking about estradiol and or just estrogen in general and the GSM symptoms. This is one where you might need two prescriptions. You might need one for your menopausal symptoms and then need a separate one for your GSM symptoms.
Yeah, we'll definitely circle back and do another one on that, because I do often find that you might need a little bit of like an estriol vaginally, which works really good, but we'll talk about that on a different podcast. When you're thinking about estradiol and the lubrication, so you're talking about the joints, the vaginal tissues, dry eye. Dry eye is a big symptom of your estrogen being a little bit too low. A lot of women will be like, my vision was fine, I was great. Of course, after a while you need the readers, but that's inevitable. But they'll say, I went to my eye doctor and they said, I have dry eye. Why do I have dry eye? Yeah, it happens when that estrogen's too low.
Yeah, it's one of those things that, is almost like I wouldn't say classic, but becoming much more common. They have to use drops and everything when that estrogen drops off.
So those are some of the most common symptoms that we'll see with the low estrogen. I'm sure we could talk probably for hours about this, so definitely, and I'm sure a lot of you will have some comments on that. But one thing when you're looking at that estradiol level being too low is you're thinking whether we're doing a static dosing or rhythmic dosing. So rhythmic dosing is looking at you're basically recreating the ovarian 28-day cycle by doing varying amounts of estradiol throughout the 28 days and then adding in that progesterone on day 14. So I love to test with the rhythmic dosing on day 12 or day 21. That's a good time to test to check for those levels. When you're doing rhythmic dosing, you can really bump up the estradiol levels. Like you can sometimes, I'll keep them easily at 150. And when you're going to, picograms per milliliter, and when you're getting closer into like day 12, when the estradiol levels in nature go up at really high, you can get that up from 250 to 450, and then it comes back down. So the rhythmic dosing is different when you're checking for high estrogen as opposed to the static dosing. That gets a little bit more tricky, which static dosing is taking the same dose every single day and not without any deviation.
Yeah. And that's where there's, their philosophies between those two different dosing strategies are just completely different. So they have to be evaluated different, they have to be monitored different, because they're really technically not the same thing. But depending on the woman, depending on the situation, there's a way to customize and, pick a solution that's going to help them with whatever they're dealing with.
Yeah, just to kind of, every practitioner has their own philosophy and their own way of, treating and doing HRT, and that's totally cool. I will say when someone's doing a static dose, I don't like to have that estradiol level too much higher than like 120 picograms per milliliter. most women feel really good when it's around 60 to 80. Like 80 is like a really good number, maybe even a little shy of 100. They feel really good. Of course, if it's too low in the 30s and the 40s, they may not feel, they might have some of these symptoms that we're talking about for determining if their estradiol level is too low or their dosing is too low. Now, there's always caveats. I have some women that feel fantastic with it, with it at 30 picograms per milliliter, where others feel great at 80 when you're doing a static dose. So there is that individual sort of variation that you're going to tailor that HRT to.
Yeah, we've never really been big fans of chasing a number, like getting a number up to a certain amount. If she's at a lower amount and her testing says that it's lower, there's no reason to change it as long as she's feeling good. Because eventually, if you keep trying to raise the dose to hit a certain target, it's going to create some other problems at some point. At least potentially. Anyway.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You don't want to chase the number. It's nice to have that objective data. Now, when you're thinking, I know what you're thinking long term. Well, what about my brain, my bones, my heart, if my estrogen's staying too low, too consistently? And there's so many other factors that we would work on. So if somebody felt really good with their estradiol level being, 40 picograms per milliliter, then I'd say, okay, well, let's keep you where you feel good, and then we'll work on the bone density with lifestyle and supplementation and nutrition. So there's so many aspects to that. But I know for this one, it was about if your estradiol level was too low.
Right. So if you want to see the other video we did, there should be up here in the upper part of the...
Which other video?
The one about estradiol being too high.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We also did a progesterone being too low and too high. So there's a few that you can choose from. Because sometimes, to be honest, when it comes to HRT, high estrogen, low estrogen, high progesterone, low progesterone, the response you can get can be a little bit paradoxical sometimes. So check those other videos out. Until next time, I'm Dr. Maki.
And I'm Dr. Valorie.
Take care. Bye-bye.